I remember watching jets as a kid, wondering where they were going as their wispy contrails stretched behind them. Even then, I just assumed that the contrails were formed by the water vapor resulting from the superheated air of the jet engines, and that the water vapor became a fine mist of ice crystals before evaporating a few minutes later. And that's why the contrails were characteristically short. Then around 1998, I started noticing contrails lingering in the sky. For several hours even. I read about them on the internet, and the explanation seemed at the time to be largely sourced from conspiracy theorists, mind-controlling chemicals, or a more conservative explanation, aluminum oxide to deflect the sun's ultraviolet rays back out into the atmosphere to help curb global warming. And even those that suggested cloud seeding by these contrails. A few months back, however, I bought a camera, and the filming that I decided to do required an unblemished blue sky. It was then that I noticed just how few of them there were. A good many of the days that started out crystal clear would end up, by noon, to have contrails crisscrossing in the sky until the entire sky was overtaken by a milky white canopy. I had to admit that I couldn't remember anything like this as I'd watched jets flying lazily by as a kid. What are we allowing to happen to our skies? And even if it is just water vapor turning to ice crystals, why are we not holding the airline companies accountable for clouding up our skies? And I don't remember seeing the variegated and metallic-looking clouds before either. And if it is aerial spraying, it has been going on without our knowledge or consent. If you are watching this video, I'd urge you to observe the skies, observe the striated cloud formations. Are naturally occurring clouds arranged in parallel waves? Should contrails become plumes that gradually predominate the sky? These are questions we can ask ourselves, our local TV meteorologists, and our government. The day after one of the most serious contrail days on October 3rd, it rained. I collected a rainwater sample in a sterilized container and submitted it to Nelson Laboratories in Medford, Oregon. I was told they could not test for compounds such as aluminum oxide, so I asked that they test then for aluminum. The results, though not strictly scientific because of the singular nature of the one sample, showed high amounts of aluminum such that the laboratory tester himself stated he would not drink that water. These so-called contrails are by no means unique to Ashland. In trips I made subsequent to having videotaped contrail activity in the Rogue Valley, I saw them at least one day out of 3. I even took my own advice and spoke with 2 local TV news meteorologists. Neither of them felt that there was a single contrail over the Medford-Ashland skies anyway that could not be explained as weather. Weather is complex. Weather is a mystery. I even asked about the looped contrails over the ocean. I, at least, have never heard of commercial airliners looping back over their flight path at cruising altitude. These, over Astoria in northwest Oregon, near the Washington border, started out in an entirely clear blue sky and overtook the spring day's blue vista within a few hours. Also interesting are the off and on contrails. And while I'm sure some weatherman somewhere will find a perfectly explainable reason for the phenomenon, for right now, I look at them with curiosity. The verdict for me isn't in on CONtrails versus chemtrails, but I'm going to continue watching and asking questions.